The college baseball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Naira Bets. Bet the Kentucky Derby by using code SGPN25 for a $25 free bet plus a $200 deposit match bonus at nairabets.com/SGPN25 and start winning today. And it is showtime. Welcome back into the college baseball experience. What's going on, everybody? My name is Noah Bieniek, aka 77, and I'm here today to quickly talk about Mississippi State firing their head coach Chris Lemonis, and then also we've got three really good Power 4 college baseball games that have bettable lines right now and prices for Thursday games. So we'll be talking about that one after this. It's going to be a quick show. I didn't realize that April only had 30 days in the month. And at the end of April, our network's deal with our current streaming service is going away. So I wanted to do one last episode with this background because I'm not sure if it's going to change or not. And I really like the Vanderbilt layout. It was my choice of how I wanted to design it. So felt like I'd just do a quick talking topic, 3 games that I have a bet in one of them, and then I'll give some angles on the other 2. Don't really know who's pitching in those matchups. But yeah, guys, Mississippi State fires Chris Lemonis, and there's still 3 weeks left of the season. 3 weeks where I think Mississippi State could easily win 5 or 6 games and thus possibly get into the NCAA tournament, or even do a little bit more work in the SEC tournament down in Hoover and get into the NCAA tournament. A little bit of a head scratcher for me on why they decided to pull the trigger now compared to let your coach who led your school to its first ever team sport national championship, let him finish the season, and just kind of say, hey, this is his last ride. He's resigning. It's a mutual it's a mutual agreement that we're going to part ways at the end of the year. It'll rally up the entire fan base this upcoming weekend. They have an old friend in Nick Mingione returning for Super Bulldog weekend. And there's going to be a ton of fans there. It would have been a nice, kind of good weekend to kind of, celebrate being a Bulldog. That's what the entire weekend's about. But also, hey, maybe your next coach is in that other dugout. Give him, what it's going to be. It's probably going to be that way anyway this weekend now that their coach is fired and the fan base is rallied up. But to me, it doesn't make sense to give your assistant coach an opportunity, a chance to now make this run. And now the school could be pressured into hiring Justin Parker, who is the pitching coach of just 2 years. So that's why they selected him. He's not the higher qualified assistant coach who then could be the head coach. But still, I mean, the pitching staff over the last 2 years has been incredible under Justin Parker. That's been the strength of this team, in my opinion, because Mississippi State's always been able to hit. They had some trouble pitching at some points during Lemonis' tenure, right? So, yeah, I think last year where they were, the 17th host, as a lot of people are talking about, the pitching was the difference. You lose your preseason ace in Nate Dom, and then Cal Steven, a Purdue transfer, steps up, and he's the SEC ace. Exactly what you would dream of. Just super consistent, very steady, dominant at times. And then you have your Rangelo Sanja, who was a very tantalizing prospect, throwing from both sides of the arm. Everybody knows the story. First round draft pick there. They had 3 guys drafted from the mound in the top 3 rounds of the MLB draft last year. Justin Parker is capable of pulling off a little bit of a run. May I say, like 2022, 2023 Alabama, when Brad Bohannon gets fired for the betting scandal. And then Jason Jackson, the pitching coach for Alabama, steps in with all this talent and all the capability in the world, and they make a run. Not even just a run. They hosted. They were the 16th host that year. I don't see that for this Mississippi State team, but just talking about getting into the NCAA tournament, I still think there is that possibility. So yeah, really confusing move here. A lot of people talking about how, they did it with a month to go. That way they have some time to get this thing going and possibly bring in a coach. And now we can go after the transfer portal. A lot of that's Mississippi State fans. Hail State fans, I have news for you. You're not going to be happy if you don't bring in a very, very successful coach, because you guys see this job as a highly coveted job. Duty Noble Field, one of the best fields in the country. The guy that you're bringing in is already going to have a late start to the portal to begin with. I don't agree with that notion whatsoever, actually. In fact, not having your head coach still telling recruits, hey, if you're going to come out and say we mutually agree that we're going to part ways at the end of the season, you can't do this. But if he's still the head coach until the end of the year, and then you announce at the end that, hey, we're parting ways, he's still actively recruiting. He's still actively keeping those commitments held tight. Who's doing that now? Justin Parker doesn't know that he's coming back. None of the other staff knows that they're coming back. Open sesame for all these other SEC coaches, ACC coaches, Big 12 coaches to come in and openly try to flip your commits. It doesn't seem like a smart decision by me. And Zach Selman of the athletic department, it just, to me, I would have gone about it a little bit differently. And give your guys some respect for winning you a national championship. And hey, Selman wasn't here for that. So that possibly could go into what happened with this decision. On the flip side of this quick ad break, we're going to talk about who a lot of people are talking about could possibly come in and take this job. But right now, I want to talk to you guys about, you guys should all support this show, the College Baseball Experience. Go hit that subscribe button. Go hit that like button. Give the show, give us a 5-star rating. Go over there, subscribe, rate, review, do whatever you do on the podcast platform that you listen to. Go over there, listen to the Sports Gambling Podcast, the flagship show of this network, the SGPN show, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network show. It's got everything that we do filtered into that podcast feed. Kentucky Derby's coming up this weekend. You might want to tune in to my guys at a Notorious OTB. Chase, aka Wolf of Oaklawn, is doing great stuff over there. During this time of the year, he is king. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. It's the first ever bank account built for bettors, which ensures you that all your gambling transactions are approved. There's no usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And it's Derby week here at SGPN. And Naira Bets wants to support us, and we want you to check out Naira Bets. Make sure you also check out that Notorious OTB podcast that I was talking about for all of your Derby week picks, plus get in on the action of the most exciting 2 minutes in sports with Naira Bets. Sign up today and boost your Derby bankroll with a $25 free bet and $200 in deposit bonus with the promo code SGPN25. Join now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match bonus at nairabets.com/SGPN25. And the College Baseball Experience is also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, plus props for every game. For the true Degens, the MyBookie money bag is there for you. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations. It's easy to deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That is mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. We're back here on the college baseball experience. I would go through some of these comments. I appreciate everybody tuning in and joining the show. We've got over 170 of you across all platforms, more than 10 of you in YouTube here. Shout out to Crutch. He says, watch them go win the SEC tournament with a lot of top teams bowing out to get their pitchers right. Totally agree. Hasty, what's going on, my man? And we also have Tali saying, would love if State made some chaos down the stretch. Me too. If this dude was winning bets, he would move out of his childhood bedroom. Mick, I am living by the seat of my pants. I am saving up some money. I have big plans coming up this year. So stay tuned. Yeah, plenty of travel coming up that your man has got out of college, paying off student loans. I'm doing it the right way. And my parents are good enough to allow me to stay in the childhood home and not pay rent. So who wouldn't take that, right? And also, I was home with my old dog. I wanted to be here for his final, what ended up turning into years. But yeah, plenty of reasons why I'm still at home. Hasty saying, easy, Nick. Noah is the man. Let's talk about some of those top rumored candidates to Mississippi State. I think the biggest one is Brian O'Connor. You know, it is a cheap buyout for a lot of Mississippi State fans. They wouldn't have to worry about your program being cheap. It's just how strong are O'Connor's ties to Virginia. It is a baseball program that had no real prior history to him and his staff coming in there, and they built that thing into a power. And they consistently recruit. Like, this guy would be a home run hire if O'Connor took the job at Mississippi State. Yeah, I think that would be your crown jewel. I don't think you're going to get it. Next step down is the duo of former Mississippi State recruits, right? Nick Mingione, who has a $6 million buyout. I don't think they're going to be able to pull him away from Kentucky. Plus, I don't think Mingione's style of play is sexy enough for Mississippi State to begin with. So I don't know how strong of a target he could be, right? I mean, at Mississippi State, your legacy was built on thunder and lightning. And then at Kentucky right now, they're playing Mingione ball, right? So I don't know how that style of ball blends in. Wes Johnson, though, is sexy enough. Another former Mississippi State assistant over there at Georgia, doing great things in his first 2 years with the Bulldogs of Athens. And this is a guy that can't sit still in his professional career. He's not really been anywhere longer than 3 years. To me, this is probably your second most likely. I think that what Georgia did, I think they extended him at the end of last season, probably raised that buyout. I think Georgia definitely wants to keep him. We'll see how much of that mutual, desire for him to stay in Athens is between those two. And speaking of former ties to Mississippi State, the athletic director, like I already mentioned, Zach Selman, he came from Oklahoma and North Carolina. That's where he's previously been in his tenure in front offices in college sports. Skip Johnson, your head coach over there at Oklahoma, kind of the same style of ball as Nick Mingione, and he's also got a $2.5 million buyout. I'm not sure he's going to be the guy. And then Scott Forbes, the head coach of North Carolina, he's spent 20 plus years as an assistant and a head coach with the Tar Heels. He's from the Tar Heel state. I think he's got some pretty good ties to North Carolina, and it might be hard to pull him from there because he's trying to deliver that program's first ever national title, kind of in the same spot that Mississippi State was in not too long ago. Butch Thompson, another former assistant of Mississippi State. He was an assistant under John Cohen, who's now the athletic director at Auburn. So are his ties stronger to Mississippi State, or is his ties stronger to John Cohen? I don't think he's your guy either. I think it's between Wes Johnson and Duke's Chris Pollard. There seems to be some buzz here. There has been some buzz around Pollard's name in the coaching carousel for the last couple of years. 2021 TCU, 2023 Miami. It seems like he was left at the altar in both occasions. He's been to 6 NCAA tournament appearances, 3 super regionals in his 12 years at Duke. Probably has a cheaper buyout because Duke baseball is not one of their top sport priorities. Obviously, everybody knows that basketball has kind of run the mill over there with the Blue Devils. And this is a guy that has been a good recruiter to kind of what his guidelines are. It's a tough academic school to get into. You see them a lot pulling from the Ivy Leagues. And they've been quality teams over the last half decade. If you bring him into Mississippi State, where he doesn't have those academic restrictions to recruit to, I think his talent pool then expands a little bit. And I would be quite intrigued about that hire. Pollard seems to be who I would bring in. I think that Mississippi State has kind of fallen down the pecking order a little bit. You still have that top facility, but to bring in guys, facility is not the only thing that matters anymore. It's NIL money. And Mississippi State's willing to throw some around, but over the past 2-3 years with Lemonis, it was like, okay, some of these rosters aren't too sexy, though. Is he not getting the job done in the pitch department, bringing these guys in? I think you should dip your toe into the water of some strong recruiting head coaches. And I think Pollard has some pretty good chops at recognizing talent, especially in the transfer portal, and bringing it into Duke. And also, they've had plenty of freshmen, sophomores that talented enough that transferred out or have been drafted. I think Pollard meets the bill. I think he would be a good hire for Mississippi State. Crutch says, does Pollard have the stones for the lights in Stark Vegas? I don't know if I believe it. It would be quite a big jump going from Jack Coombs, who was Jack Coombs Field was normally, or I would say not normally, notoriously one of the lesser developed ACC facilities. Put him at Dodie Noble. Let him see what he can do. I think it would be only positives if you're talking about whether or not he'd crack in front of 12,000 people. There's been plenty of people that have. In Mississippi State's history, there's been plenty of people that also have. So I don't think it's a very high bar for them to be satisfied if you're giving them a super regional with lesser talent, because I just think that you got to bring in a guy that can do a little bit more with a little bit less. I mean, we're talking about the SEC here, where I think Mississippi State's a top 10 job in the country, but some of those other top 10 jobs are in this league, and that's why they've fallen down the pecking order in just the 4 years removed of a national championship. Before we get into May 1st bets and college baseball picks, it's time for Underdog Pick'em talk. Underdog Pick'em, yet last weekend I went 2-0 on a Pick'em video that I put out. You can win up to 100x on their Pick'em platform. Sign up today with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. And Rhythm is also partnered with SGPN, and they are your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and prop market on MLB with Rhythm. Building your own model is super easy and simple on their platform, and Rhythm knows that you'll love their platform, their app, which is why they're including a 7-day free trial for you to try this thing out without any deposit. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now for you. 25% off monthly subscriptions with promo code SGPN25, and you can get 50% off annual subscriptions with promo code SGPN50. That is Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And we're home free here on the College Baseball Experience. Let's talk May 1st. I can't believe it's already May, the month of May. I've got a big trip that we're planning on coming up at the end of this month. We get an NCAA tournament bracket and field of 64 at the end of this month. What's going on? Hardcore gaming, my friend. Let's jump into it. First game, Louisville at Duke. The Cardinals are minus 160. Sorry, got Duke on the mind frame. It's Notre Dame. Louisville at Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are plus 130. The Cardinals are minus 160. To be announced pitchers for both teams here. So no official bet on my part. Louisville is the tricky one here that we have a hard time projecting with some of their injuries in their pitching staff. Patrick Forbes missed again another weekend. They just got Tucker Biven back, I believe. And they're also, I think they just got back Peter Michael. He threw last weekend as well, I do believe. But their ace, Patrick Forbes, has not appeared for about 3 weeks now. And it's been a rotating door in the game one starts. It's tough projection. I am going to list Ethan Eberle. He's a freshman lefty for this. He has started 2 of the last 4 game ones for Louisville. He's got a 5.65 ERA on the year, 28.2 innings, 25 strikeouts, 9 walks, and a 3.74 Sierra. So you could expect with a little bit of an advanced analytic there that maybe he has his better days in the future here. And Notre Dame could be that team for him. They are bad, like historically bad against left-handed pitching. 100 points worse average, 200 points worse OPS wise against left-handed pitching. If Louisville goes with Ethan Eberle, I think he might be able to go okay. Notre Dame, like I said, the plus money side is the more attractive side for me in this matchup, though. Jack Raydell has been really good lately. 1.37 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's a right-handed pitcher. 4-3 on the year, 4.33 ERA, 52 innings on the season, 43 strikeouts, 16 walks with a 3.97 Sierra. So possibly, right there, right where he should be. Louisville's offense has been really good lately. They've been really good the entire year. 121 WRC plus. Notre Dame only at a 102. And Louisville is a little bit better against right-handed pitching than they are left-handed. So enough hesitation for me on this pick, not knowing Louisville's starting pitcher, that I'm not going to bet anything. I really don't even feel strongly about the total. Notre Dame would be my pick tomorrow if Ethan Eberle is not on the bump. I would probably pull the trigger on the Fighting Irish because Raydell, like I said, last 4 starts, he's been elite. 1.37 ERA. Game number 2 tomorrow is the big one. Number 1 versus the formerly number 2, I think 2 weeks ago. Arkansas has now lost 3 SEC series in a row, and Texas has looked impenetrable. They are plus 130 in this game at Baum Walker, where the Hogs are minus 166. The minus 166 line has been a little bit of a trap line this year, for me at least. So interesting because I want to end up on the Texas side here. I think Arkansas is due for a bounce back week, and that's heavily being cooked into this line right here. Also, books and maybe models aren't as sold on that Texas team. They're just not winning in dominant ways, but they are a damn good team, and I don't know why they're at plus money. I think they end up at a pick 'em, maybe even a little bit further out as a favorite tomorrow, depending on how much public money comes in. I want to be on the plus money side right now, get some good CLV on a Thursday pick. I'm betting the Longhorns here. Ruger Riojas is going to be on the mound for them, and this kid's been stellar. Plenty of questions I've had on him, thrown at him every single weekend. He keeps setting the bar higher. 8-1 in the year, 2.98 ERA, 54.1 innings thrown, 51 strikeouts, just 12 walks, a 2.38 ERA, and 6 SEC starts. It is incredible. incredible run that he's been on the last 6 weeks. Started the year as a leverage arm in the pen, flirted with long relief. Now he's a starting pitcher. His Sierra is 250. This is an elite arm with really good stuff in the mid 90s with his fastball and some off speed that really dazzles. Ruger Riojas is a guy that I am falling in love with this season. Just love everything that the kid's about. Arkansas is going to go with Zach Root, a left-handed pitcher, notable because Texas is slightly worse against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. Their OPS is 70 points down versus southpaws than orthodox. So Root, though, in his last 4 starts, it's a 7.11 ERA. Rough go for Root lately. 5-3 on the year, 4.50 ERA, 58 strikeouts, 58 innings, 81 strikeouts, 22 walks. Arkansas with that really good offense. I expect a bounce back weekend. I think they might even win this series, but I have them losing game 1 here. Give me Texas at plus money. How can I pass that? Final game of the day. Kansas State. Well, it's actually not the final game of the day. Santa Clara and Portland do play each other. Tough projection on both of them. They both have TBAs, so I'm not going to cover that game here on today's show. Kansas State is minus 160 here. BYU plus 124 at Miller Park, the beautiful Miller Park with mountains in the backdrop. Jacob Frost is your starting pitcher here for the Wildcats. He's a left-hander. Notable because BYU is worse against left-handed pitching. 50 points worse on their OPS and average. 4.38 ERA this season for Frost in 49.1 innings. 56 strikeouts, 28 walks. On the road this season, he's been much, much better. 2 runs better, in fact, with a 2.25 road ERA, and he's not facing one of the better offenses in the Big 12 here with BYU. So I think Frost is going to have a good day here, and he's going to be bumping against the right-hander Peyton Gubler for BYU. He's got a 5.98 ERA, 55.2 innings pitched this season, 41 strikeouts, 33 walks. At home, he's been much better. Actually, 2.5 runs better at home this season with a 3.38 home ERA. But April was a really rough month from him. Like, he got destroyed. 11.39 April ERA. He was an arm that I actually kind of liked early on in the non-conference, early in the Big 12 slate, but it's been a rough go his last 4 starts for Gubler there. Kansas State 104 WRC plus, slightly above average, along with BYU's offense, slightly above average at a 107 WRC plus. The way I want to attack this game, if this total is anywhere higher than 12.5, 13, I'm going to give the under a really good look here. I think that Frost is going to go great. Gubler has a chance to really kind of right some wrongs here. Like I said, last month, 11.39 ERA, but to have an ERA sub 6 for the entire year, he was doing something incredibly right early on that I'm willing to put a little bit of faith with only 4 games on this Thursday and an under. I would say Kansas State wins this game. That would be my pick, but I would feel stronger about the under here. Hasty saying, so we bet in Texas, Noah, full unit. Yeah, that one's going to be one of the plays on my card on my tweet tomorrow, around 5-ish, maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see. But yeah, I really like Texas tomorrow. That is the pick. Thank you all for joining in today. And I hope you all enjoyed this stream layout. Like I said, it was something that I came up with the idea, and we'll see what we rock with moving on forward with college baseball experience as we step into a new direction with our streaming platform. So goodbye from this layout, possibly. I hope to have it on the next platform, but we will see. Tomorrow, I will be here with Johnny. I think Colby's even planning on being on the episode tomorrow, so it should be a fun one. This has been the College Baseball Experience. Mississippi State fired Chris Lemonis. We went over a couple of their top targets and also gave out a really good May 1st college baseball lock. Texas, moneyline, hook 'em. Let's go. This has been the College Baseball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we are out of here.